call the meeting to order for the Ambulance Oversight Committee, January 8th, 2021. So we can go ahead and start if anyone has any announcements at this time. I do have one, so I will go ahead with that. So many of you know we did the new schedule now. So we have our formal meetings twice a year. In order to meet our requirements for the meeting, our plan was to have meetings in January and in July. And then in April and October, we would still get the information because we're required to get the information on the transports and the data quarterly. So if we could get in April, get data from January, February, and March, and then October, we would receive data from July, August, and September, and then we'd have the in-person or virtual meetings in January and July. So that will be our new schedule going forward, and hopefully that works for FM for your data, and you can just get those through Lori, and Lori can send those out to the committee members. So any questions on that? Okay, we also had questions on adding of board members from various entities, and what we had decided, each agency is kind of given that one representative. So you can have other attendees come from within your agency. We would just need, Lori would need, those names. So they could come as representatives, they just wouldn't be an actual board member. So we'd still have the one voting board member from an agency, but could have several people attend to be a part of it. So that's probably how we'll continue to do that going forward. Any questions with any of that? All right. Can I get, Lori would have sent out the August 14th meeting minutes this morning. So if we could get a motion to approve those August 14th minutes.
Move to approve, Steve Dirksen.
Second, Tim Meyer.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carried for approval of the minutes. Agenda item 3 would be our data review. So who's doing that? Chad, are you doing that? Or Tim, are you doing that?
It's typically Jason here. Are you on there, Jason? He was having trouble with the audio. He sent me a text here a minute or so ago.
He just popped off the way it looks.
Maybe he's going to try to rejoin. The challenges of virtual meetings.
Right. Jason's the best person to go through this. He puts a report together, so just bear with us here.
Sure.
Hello.
Hey, Jason.
Good morning. Sorry about that.
No worries.
My work laptop did not like this, but we got connected. So I was hearing on the other end, but are you ready for me?
Yeah.
We are ready for you. Thank you.
Yeah. So the monthly reports from August through December are there. As my broken drum message, there isn't much that changed. 2 highlighted points would be that at the end of the year, we saw some really unprecedented volumes. Things were extremely busy through those last 5-6 months of the year. I think that's most easily shown on page 22, where you show the different months year by year. You see those monthly volumes really up there. I think, also interesting related to the pandemic and how that clearly affected us locally and is affecting us. But in November, when things were really getting busy, COVID-19 confirmed by testing actually became one of our top 10 ambulance impressions for 911 calls within the city of Fargo. So that was one that we hadn't seen in there before, obviously, but when things were really, numbers were really high then, that was that. One thing that I think I'm proud of, just looking at those record volumes towards the end of the year, our response time stayed very well. I believe they were all above 95%. Looking at those last 5 pages, 97.89, 97.37, 95.8. That one cut off, and that one did too on my printout. But all of our response times stayed very high, and I know that Chad and our ops team has been doing some work, adding some resources to also help with that. But other than that, no real surprises, changes, or anything else in the data. Just COVID kind of hitting us.
So do you think some of the increased volume was, again, people kind of delaying care when maybe they weren't quite as sick to not go in with COVID, and then waiting until things were more severe and then needing higher levels of support? Or?
Yeah, it could be. It's tough to say in our EMS world, but most definitely. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen volume jumps like that before. You know, when the pandemic first hit, our service utilization went way down. If you look back to the March, April numbers, like things dipped in a way that we've never seen, and yet we've seen these record months the last 5-6 months. So it would certainly support that notion.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Any questions for Jason on any of the data?
This is Vicki. I do have a question, actually. Is the response time from the dispatch or PSAP, exactly what data are you using for that response time, out of curiosity?
Yeah, the response time is from the time that we initiate the call in our dispatch center until the unit arrives on scene.
So to scene, not to patient?
Correct.
Okay.
And Vicki, just on a clarification there as well, when the call comes into 911, it goes into Red River and then transferred over to FM. And
okay.
The time starts when FM gets the call, not when Red River gets it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and this is just for my knowledge. What does shoot time mean?
Shoot time is time from when a crew is sent the call from our dispatch to when wheels are rolling. So Red River Regional Dispatch, they obviously ingest the 911 call. They send it over to our secondary PSAP or our dispatch center, who then sends it out to the appropriate FM unit based on where we're at. So our dispatch center, our time starts when we initiate that call. So when our dispatch first starts taking that call is our call taken time. And then they process that, usually a matter of seconds. And then once they assign that call to one of our ambulances, from the point that ambulance was assigned by our dispatch center until the ambulance's wheels were rolling.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions on the data? Okay, hearing none. Any other updates for any questions, concerns, issues that have come up since we have met last?
This is Vicki again. I'm sorry. I do have a question, actually. I was looking at the service agreement, the ambulance service agreement, and for the reporting piece on the response times, it looked like there was 3 distinct time frames that they were looking at, or 2, with a 2-year summary in conjunction with the agreement or licensing piece. So, Jason, do you feel that the numbers that we're looking at meet both of those requirements?
I honestly have no idea what language you're looking at. So,
yeah,
if you would kindly share that with me, we can certainly make sure we're meeting those.
I'll be honest with you. I had no idea until I got this email either. I thought, well, I better read so I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just a comment on that agreement. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Steve Dirksen has background because it predates me.
Sure.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure that was ever executed.
Oh,
It was
okay.
talked about,
Okay.
but you can tell me, Steve, if you remember that.
I don't believe it was ever executed that I can remember. I know there was a lot of discussion and a lot of meetings.
Oh, okay.
But we did get to the point of, establishing the committee here that we would oversee, and the numbers would be there on a regular basis for
Okay.
us. And these are the numbers. I mean, the way that we're seeing them today is the way we've been doing it since 2013, 14, when this was initiated.
Okay.
And so we have the consistency. So I believe, I'm probably the only one here that's been the standing member, other than Jason and Chad have been reporting things. And Heidi, without seeing us all in the room, I forget who's all there. So I think the numbers truly reflect what we want to see and what we've asked for.
Sure.
And FM has been very responsive on that. And I think it just gives us a good history of where we're at. We can look back, and the way that Jason provides the numbers to us, we've seen that for years past. So
No, and I agree. I know that Essentia has asked for some additional data points, as far as behavioral health, and you guys at FM have been wonderful with providing that. I just wanted to make sure that we were meeting whatever our actual charge was for the committee. And since I think I might be the newest comer to the group, I wasn't quite sure, that we were doing that. So I just wanted to be sure. And it's good to know that this wasn't enacted, I guess. So I thought it had been, based on the date going way back there. So, all right, I guess that answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah, if the group wants data presented in a different way, we would certainly accommodate that.
Being the victim that has cranked all of this data, I would tell you that the Chief Dirksen was correct, that we started with an initial presentation that was even much more expansive than this, and the group throughout the years kind of narrowed down to what they wanted to see reported monthly, and so that's how we've done it. But it has been pretty consistent after the first 2-3 meetings that existed quarterly way back in the day. I'd also add my apologies in the data points at the end of the year not getting out sooner. Our NEMSIS data model that we report to, or that we report through, is called NEMSIS, or the National Emergency Medical Services Standard Information Set, I believe is the term, but they changed their formatting or added a new type that drastically altered how our data is stored and collected and architected. So it required a considerable amount of